Carter of Todd Weld, which is a 40-attorney litigation firm in Boston. We do all kinds of litigation, virtually everything. And my practice is also very mixed, and I get involved in all kinds of things, which is fun and keeps it interesting. Sometimes I am involved in a case like the one I tried, which is a plaintiff's case, a job discrimination, employment discrimination case, and a defamation case. It was in federal court, and it was a 2-week jury trial with a good result for the plaintiff. Basically, the plaintiff was a guy who's been in law enforcement for 30 or so years, the past 15, a very successful ATF agent. But his lifelong dream was to come back to Massachusetts and to become a police chief. He'd grown up in a law enforcement family. His father had nearly been a police chief. His brother was a police chief. And that was his dream. And so he began to apply for police chief jobs in Massachusetts and had pretty immediate success. There were several towns where he was a finalist, and ultimately in one of the cities in Massachusetts, he was chosen by the mayor, which is essentially getting the job, and he deserved it. Before the final confirmation hearing, which is essentially a rubber stamp, an anonymous letter is sent to the mayor and to the city council from somebody from his hometown where his family had been in law enforcement, and his family had taken on police corruption, and so they had enemies. And this person who wrote the letter said they knew the family, and then disparaged the father and the brother and my client. Most of the allegations were completely false. There was a reference in the letter to a criminal charge in my client's early life as a law enforcement officer. He had not disclosed that criminal charge in the application process, and he didn't have to because he'd gone to trial and was acquitted. Under Massachusetts law, anyone who has been charged and cleared of a crime is protected from having to say anything about it to an employer in the application process. The mayor, upon learning of this charge, withdrew the nomination in violation of clear Massachusetts law. Then made matters worse and went to the media and said, having first a week prior put this guy up on a pedestal saying how wonderful he was and he was going to be the next police chief, a week later says to the press after getting this anonymous letter, he hadn't been forthcoming about the criminal charge. He didn't have to be.
Right.
And so after a 2-week jury trial, the jury found that the city had violated this anti-discrimination law, and the mayor had defamed this individual and imposed a $1.5 million verdict. And because it's under the anti-discrimination statute, the client is entitled to their attorney's fees for successfully establishing discrimination.